The reason why women are no longer behaving traditionally is because men are no longer behaving traditionally.
She right. It's our fault. We're the ones telling them to be naked online. We're the ones telling young women to start OF pages. We are the ones telling them that they don't need no man. Oh, wait. That's women telling women those things.
If you want a traditional man, I honestly feel like that you should take on some traditional woman qualities as well. So yes, back in the day, men provided, but guess what? That woman wasn't fussing and nagging about everything. Whenever he asked her to do something, she did it. Whenever he wanted it, he got it. But guess what else? Women cooked. And I'm not talking about no daggone Alfredo and Rotel. But nowadays, women don't want to do any of those things. Oh yeah, you want a traditional man, be a traditional woman. But you don't want a traditional man. You want a man that you can take advantage of.
Women aren't traditional women, right? So then the man is like, well, why should I be a traditional man? If you're not traditional, you're posting booty pics, you got got all of this other stuff, but you want me to, protect and provide for you and pay a bulk of the bills when you got your booty cheeks up online? You might as well go 50-50. Your cake ain't really all that sweet anyway.
Hey, it's Don the Con Man. Welcome to the channel. We break down the drama, react to the mess, and call out the culture. If you vibe with that, hit that like button. Want to stay locked in? Subscribe and tap the bell. No face, no fluff, just real talk. Let's get into it. Modern women want traditional men, but bring nothing traditional to the table. Let me get this straight. You want a man who pays the bills, protects you, stays faithful, doesn't look at other women, leads the household, and takes full responsibility for your emotions, but you can't cook, won't clean, disrespect men online, think submission is slavery, and post thirst traps while calling it self-expression? Make it make sense. Modern women love to say, I'm not my grandmother, and men are saying, good, I'm not your grandfather either. You want traditional benefits without traditional values. You want provision without femininity, leadership without submission, security without accountability. And when men finally say, nah, I'm good, we get labeled misogynist, sassy, or broke boys. Here's the question nobody wants to ask. Do most women today even qualify to be traditional wives?
I thought you was gonna cook.
Okay, but I'm tired. I'm tired. I had to take a shower and stuff, and I had to walk the dog, everything. Yes, I've been watching TV shows. I'm a little tired and exhausted and stuff. I don't wanna.
So you didn't even start cooking. The dishes is not washed.
You can buy a maid. I'm not a maid either.
A maid? You gotta be a maid to clean?
I'm not a maid. I'm not cleaning. I don't clean. I don't want to clean. I'm not that type of girl. I'm not a cleaning type of girl. I don't do that. I don't know what you're not understanding.
What do you mean by that? A type of girl? You don't know how to just take care of responsibilities? You don't have no responsibilities.
Exactly, because I have you.
You rely on me to do everything.
Okay, you're the man. Be a man. Don't be sassy about it. I already told you about this.
Though.
Okay.
I'm literally just a man.
Okay. Didn't you just say that you not paying the rent and now you have $10? Where is your money going? I'm not understanding. I need new clothes. I need to take pictures and stuff. You're never home. This is getting really annoying.
I don't have $10 to just spend on you or $30 to just spend on you to eat, and I'm supposed to be saving up for the rent.
Okay,
literally.
So rent is only $12.50.
Take my shoes off and you over here arguing with me.
Hey, go sell the shoes so I can get a better meal. We can go eat steak.
I worked a 12-hour shift and you acting like this, bro?
Okay, you're not going to sleep.
You can't just rest?
No, I need this thing ate. I'm bored.
This is probably why I'm gonna be single. Forever. A lot of men want women to cook and clean. I'm just not gonna cook and clean. Cook! I've been eating canned tuna for the past 15 years of my life. I'm not cooking for myself. Why the am I gonna cook for you? So I get why you would not want to choose a woman like me to be your wife.
They are lying to you. They are coming down your timeline telling you that all you have to be is a woman. It does not matter how nasty your attitude is. It does not matter how horrible your sex is. It does not matter how horrible your body shape is. It does not matter how many partners you've had. It does not matter how many children you have. It does not matter that you cannot cook, that you can't clean, but the only thing that you need to be able to offer a man is the fact that you were born a woman. Doesn't that sound too good to be true? And then you wonder why you cannot date successfully. You wonder why you cannot get a man, because they are sending you in the world with false confidence. They are sending you into the world with a false sense of entitlement. And stop listening to people who are lying to you. You know they're getting profits off of your pain, right?
Because traditional wives came with skills, real skills. They cooked from scratch, not heating up pre-made meals. They cleaned the house without modern gadgets. They raised multiple kids without tablets and TikTok. balanced budgets without running up credit card debt, and kept a peaceful home. They weren't thirst trapping online or arguing like they were competing with their man. They brought femininity, modesty, exclusivity, and yes, often virginity. And they didn't demand a six-figure man. Factory workers had traditional wives. So yes, they were treated like queens because they met the qualifications. Today, most women want the treatment but couldn't pass the entry-level interview. And the truth is, most modern women don't even want to be traditional wives. Why? Because it came with sacrifice. They didn't pay bills, not because they were pampered, but because they weren't allowed to work, open a checking account, or get a credit card. They had no financial independence. And if the marriage turned toxic, they couldn't just leave. That's the part modern women don't want to talk about. And fair enough, that level of dependence isn't for everyone. But if you're rejecting the cost, stop demanding the benefits. You can't be a modern woman when it suits you and expect a man to play by 1950s rules when it benefits you.
I think a lot of times we come into this relationship, and as men, we get all of the pressure put on us to figure something out for the entire family. You know how stressful that is, bro?
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And then we take that as like, this is a badge of honor. Like, this is what we should be doing. Like, yes, I have the pleasure of being able to take my family out of poverty. Bro, that's a hard thing to do for just one person. That's hard as hell.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that is not, I don't want that stress on me, bro. I got enough stuff that I'm dealing with. I don't need to be the person that's bringing everybody in my family out of poverty. Yeah. If I'm getting into a relationship, I want my shorty to be thinking about that as well and figuring out ways that we can both work on that. Not just me, because it puts a lot of financial stress on you as the man in a relationship. And a lot of relationships end up failing. A lot of marriages end up failing due to what? Finances, bro.
Me being the sole provider for 2.5 years I thought that she'd be going back to work a year and a half ago and we'd have a lot more money.
Is there any stress or strain on the fact in the relationship, on the fact that it's been pushed longer than was anticipated?
I would say yes. How so? So I carry a lot of stress and so there's some stresses. So the big stress is that I have to work 50, 60 hours a week to make the money. And then she wants me home helping with the kid. And those are mutually exclusive. If I work a 15-hour day, there's only so much, so that's the stress, is that give and take of her needing help, which is fair and reasonable. And me being like, well, I have to work.
What do you think about that, Sophia?
I see where he's coming from, but at the same time, it's one of those things like I can't get the best of both worlds. So I feel that I want him home, but also I personally don't think he needs to work as much, but he wants...
You think he doesn't need to work as much?
No.
But you said he's living paycheck to paycheck. That's
correct.
You guys doing. So what would he do different in terms of hours?
Okay, I should rephrase, I guess. He should work, his hours should look a little bit different in the sense that he's not gone for 18 hours a day.
Does he have that choice in that position?
Yes.
Do you have that choice in that position?
Schedule.
Yes and
so why
no.
then? Why are you doing it?
Okay, so in the business, if they call you and you say, oh, hey, I can't do that run, they'll just give it to somebody else, and then you might not work the next day. That's just how the business works.
Okay, so it doesn't fully have the choice then in that context.
He doesn't have the fully of the choice, but if he takes runs constantly without weighing the cost, so let's say he's been gone since 4 a.m, then they tell him, hey, can you do a run till midnight, or can you do a run till 3 a.m, and he's like, yeah, sure.
But it's the only income in the house.
Correct.
I do apologize ahead of time because I'm going to hit a nerve, but could you imagine being a provider, man, where you sit up here and work all these hours and you're with the woman and you're trying to give her the lifestyle that she says she wanted, and you're just working your best because you do love and you care for this woman, all for her to end up turning around and saying you was never home. I feel like we don't love each other anymore, and I want to go see other people, even though the only reason you was away from the home was to work, to pay for the lifestyle that she says she wanted. Could you also imagine having kids in this situation, and then as your kids start to get older, they feel like they don't know their father because their father is never at home because they're always working to provide this lifestyle where the kids never have to worry about money. Kids go to the mall, kids go to the movie, kids are going on vacation with their friends, and they never have to worry about a dollar. That you put them in one of the best schools you possibly could have, all for them to turn around and being like, you was never there for me. Could you also imagine losing the house that you was paying for since you was the provider man, and then you end up losing it in the divorce, and you're now paying alimony since you probably stayed home. The wife stayed home to take care of the kids, and now you got to live in a 1-bedroom apartment as your ex-wife is living in the house you paid for with her new man. and the kids still might be there, and now they live in like one big happy family for a structure that you built.
Now let's flip it. Let's talk about the traditional man. He worked hard, but he was also respected, supported, honored, but that came at a cost too. Traditional husbands were under intense pressure. If he failed, the household collapsed. No burnout, no therapy, no emotional support. He was expected to grind himself into the grave without complaint. Vulnerability, weakness, mental health, not even in the conversation. He had no legal safety net. If the marriage fell apart, he could lose everything, family, house, reputation, and he still did it because the deal was balanced. He provided and protected, and in return, he was valued. Men today still face all the same risks, but none of the rewards. They're expected to provide like their grandfather, love like a therapist, communicate like a woman, and serve like a butler. And in return, they get disrespect, emasculation, entitlement, and emotional neglect.
The average salary increase to the cost of living increase, and we go from 1970s, then you're going to look at men have to be providers. Well, guess what? Their increase in the last 50 years is only about 10 to 20%, but the cost of living is up 2,000%. So how the hell do you expect not to feel like you're worthless?
But what do you do with that, though?
But what I'm saying is you have to really look at the factors that are all making people stressed, right? It's not just the simple fact that you have something wrong with you inside. It's like, no, the society that I'm living in and actively trying to flourish in is really not flourishable. It's not made for majority of people to succeed. And that's the truth. And you would drive yourself crazy comparing yourselves to those that did make it, or drive yourself crazy trying to make it just because they told you that you can be whatever you want. And I think that's the reality aspect that people don't take into consideration.
And let's be honest, not every man is rich. Not every man is upper middle class. Some of these men are grinding, paying the rent, covering utilities, doing everything right, even when they haven't reached their full earning potential yet. But is that good enough? Or do women only want to show up at the finish line? After the glow up, after the promotions, after the debt is gone, they don't want to build with you. They want to arrive once you've already built. So now, even when a man is paying major bills and carrying the weight of the household, he's still told it's not enough. Wages haven't kept up with inflation, and that's a fact. And today, being the sole provider might mean covering not just living expenses, but also paying off her student loans and supporting kids from a previous relationship. Responsibilities his grandfather never had to carry because his income isn't 6 figures, because he doesn't live in the right zip code. That's not just unrealistic, that's classist. And most men aren't even bitter about it. They get it. It's not the 1950s. 2 incomes are usually necessary to survive, but they're done getting shamed for walking away from unfair deals. They're not signing up to be overworked, underappreciated, and emotionally neglected, all while getting blamed for everything. Let's be real. A lot of women want their grandmother's lifestyle, but none of their grandmother's discipline. Grandma wasn't outside every weekend. Grandma wasn't posting cheeks online. Grandma wasn't arguing about 50-50. She didn't demand a luxury lifestyle while bringing nothing to the table but entitlement. Modern women want the best of both worlds, and that's the problem. But fellas, let's pause, because some of y'all need this reality check too. Are you chasing modern women and expecting her to act like a traditional one? Are you picking women who live half naked on the gram, then getting mad she won't cover up around your friends, family, and strangers in real life? Are you part of her rotation, hoping one day she'll settle for you? Are you deep in the friend zone, waiting for her man to mess up, only for her to date someone else entirely? Are you giving her free domestic labor, changing her oil, fixing things around the house, helping her move, etc., in hopes of sexual or romantic favors in the future? A lot of women have these wild expectations because enough men reward them. They get the benefits of a traditional husband while living like a modern, independent woman. If you're rewarding the very behavior you complain about, you're part of the problem.
I think that's where a lot of men mess up at, is they be thinking, okay, I want my woman to do all of the traditional duties that women did, and I want her to go out there and work 8 to 12 hour shift on top of that. It don't work like that, right? Like when that's the case, y'all both grinding together and things of that nature, like y'all gotta help each other out in that regard. Like you might have to cook tonight. You might have to clean tonight. You might have to help the kid with the homework tonight. Whatever it is that's gonna make the situation feasible and realistic.
Guys want to have a traditional wife and they don't want to be a traditional dude. I got no problem if you're the husband and you're traditional and you want to go out and you make the money and you want your wife to stay home and she wants to stay home and she wants to be the traditional wife, being the center of the family. Hugely important role. However, if the idea instead You want to have a traditional wife who also works with you, gets up just as early, but she's got to clean the kitchen, she's got to take care of the kids, she's got to keep everything in line, plus the 9 to 5? No way. And that's where I think stuff's getting kind of sideways. It's like, I'm the man, I'm in charge. Okay, then go make the money, go be in charge, go be the provider. But you don't get to have both. And I think the beautiful part about a relationship is you guys get to decide whatever you want in your relationship. But I don't think that you get to say, just because I have a wiener, that I'm in charge of everything and I'm the provider and the protector and go take care of the house and do everything else, even if you have a job.
I think a lot of men are asking for those things and not even giving what they're supposed to be giving as a man. Like they want their woman to be, you know, all about them, cook, clean, the wifely, the old traditional wife. That's what they want out of a woman, most of them.
Right.
But they're not willing to be traditional men. I mean, they're not willing to pay all the bills. They're not willing. That's what they're saying. They're not willing to pay all the bills. They're not willing to go out there and get dirty. And when their wife needs something, hey, pay for it. They just, here, put the money on the table. If you want traditional roles, then give traditional men roles. You know what I'm saying? You can ask a woman to be traditional with you, and then on the back end, you don't want to be traditional. A lot of men asking for, oh, okay, if I'm going to give you this, you need to give me something back, and mostly it's finance. I don't want to pay all the bills. You need to be paying all the bills if you're working too, or if I come home, I want you to cook everything. I want you to clean the house. But when you come home, you ain't doing nothing. All you doing is not even trying to pay all the bills. You just want to go half.
Now let's be brutally honest. Can you even afford a traditional wife? Because just like it's ridiculous for a woman to demand a traditional husband when she doesn't qualify to be a traditional wife, it's just as ridiculous to expect her to do all of the cooking, cleaning, and child rearing while paying half or more of the bills. That's your accountability check. And here's what stings the most. Modern women won't say they need men. They won't say society needs men. They won't say families need fathers. They won't admit that straight relationships need masculine men. But men know they need women. They know society needs mothers. They know relationships thrive when women are nurturing, peaceful, and supportive. I'll say it plainly. I needed women in my life. I still do. But ask a modern woman to say she needs a man, she'll choke, she'll deflect, she'll argue. It's like trying to run iOS on a Samsung. She just wasn't built that way. So now, men are responding in kind. We won't be the traditional men you want. We'll be the modern men you deserve. If this hit a nerve good, that means you're awake. Disagree? The comment section is wide open. Subscribe and tap the bell if you're tired of the lies, the loops, and the manipulation. No face, no fluff, just real talk. Until next time, stay sharp, stay focused, and stop simping for the unqualified. Don the Con Man out.